everyone. My name is Mary Lamondo, and we're going to be doing a reading with the Eyes of Ra Oracle deck on this eve of the full moon in Virgo, the total lunar eclipse, which occurs tomorrow, March 3rd, 2026. And we're doing this reading for the energy around that eclipse and whatever messages that the Egyptian archetypes, the Egyptian oracles have to give us. So I'm using the 5-pointed star of Isis reading. And I'm doing that because 5 points, the 5-pointed star, is the symbol for Isis. So she is very much a part of this reading. And we start with the first card. And of course, it's Isis herself. And the placement as the first card means that her message is very important. She's setting up the tone of the reading, the theme, if you will. And Virgo is always about body and soul. Isis has the message of the body is the temple. And so we really need to ground ourselves and be aware of our bodies during this full moon eclipse tomorrow morning, which is actually visible from most of the North American continent. So the description of Isis is that we see her as a beautiful woman, and she's wearing the sun disk as her crown because she is a daughter of the sun. She has many names, and she's associated with many different aspects of goddesses in ancient Egypt. But her main role is that of compassionate mother and wife. She's the wife of Osiris, the first pharaoh of ancient Egypt, and her son, Horus, is depicted here as the hawk, the sun god Horus. Isis is the compassionate great mother of Egypt, and her name actually means the throne. She was revered by all as the first queen of Egypt, and it is her son Horus, the sun god, from whom all later pharaohs were descended. And as I said earlier, Isis is associated with the star Sirius, and she taught the people her wisdom, magic, and the arts of civilization. And we also see here that she is associated with the Great Pyramid of Egypt, and her chamber, the Queen's Chamber, inside the Great Pyramid, has a shaft that points directly to her home star, Sirius. Now, the personal interpretation of this card is that Isis is protecting you at this time. You can call on her for emotional healing, especially in regards to relationship and family issues. Isis can revive a stagnant marriage or guide you to a new soul partner. But forgiving yourself and others is essential, especially during this eclipse time. Isis can indicate that you are ready for a new and equal partnership, but the old debris and stagnant, toxic emotions must be cleared before that can happen. Ooh, Isis just gave a emphasis there on that one. So clearing is extremely important. There we go. And her message as the oracle to you is that you can be both compassionate and powerful in all your relations. Now, the next card we're going to look at is below Isis, and that's the card called the Journey. And the journey is about starting out on our path. And the placement of the card has to do with the basis of the reading, or the root of the matter, if you will. This is where it all began, like what's starting out here in the unconscious. And this card represents the initiate's journey from darkness to light, which is actually the path of the eclipse. The lunar eclipse is the path of darkness to light, from light to darkness and back to light again, actually. And the ancient Egyptians described it as an alchemical process where our dense human emotions are transformed into the body of light through a long process of self-mastery, meditation, and spiritual practices. In Egypt, each temple had a particular frequency that worked on the human body and mind to free the spirit entrapped in dense matter and allow the transformation and an enlightened being to take place. Today, we call this the ascension process. And here in this card, we see the god Amun-Ra as an enlightened being. He stands in his solar bark facing the rising cobra and the sun disk, which symbolizes the raising of consciousness through the Kundalini. And the coiled serpent symbolizes the eternal timelessness. See the coils here around. Timelessness and the journey of the soul from ignorance to enlightenment. Now, the personal interpretation, the oracle's message to you in this card is that you are becoming aware of new spirit guides and teachers around you. You have worked long and hard in your spiritual development to attain this state of awareness. Use your spiritual gifts as an example of hope to others. And the oracle's message is, your light is bright, let it shine. Good words to remember during the dark light of the eclipse, releasing and getting in touch with our shadow. The next card we're going to look at is Wadjet, the cobra goddess of ancient Egypt. And the placement of Wadjet has to do with something that we've learned in the past. It's a chapter that we've already mastered. And this could be something from this lifetime or from a past lifetime. There's something about this card that says we are growing and we are actually using our third eye with a new perception, new eyes, a new way of seeing things after we have mastered the lessons from the past. And I'll call these karmic lessons because, again, it could be lessons that we came into this lifetime to learn and master, and or we've mastered it in a past life. But this is showing up as a past experience. And here we see Wadjet as the cobra goddess, sun disk on her head, and also the eye of Ra over her. Wadjet, the cobra goddess, was worshipped from pre-dynastic times in ancient Egypt, which means she's one of the oldest goddesses. And along with her twin sister, Nekhbet, the vulture goddess, they protect the pharaoh from all adversity. In this card, Wadjet is shown in the form of the uraeus, or the rearing cobra, surrounded by the all-seeing eye of Ra. Wadjet symbolizes the rising serpent power of the Kundalini. All Egyptian pharaohs wore the double crown of Wadjet, the cobra, and Nekhbet, the vulture, to symbolize the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt, as well as the integration of their upper and lower chakras, uniting their human and divine natures. And we also see that theme repeated in this card, the journey of the initiate as well. Now, the actual personal interpretation for you with Wadjet is that she is a card of spiritual awakening and psychic protection. So mastering the techniques of psychic protection is something that your soul calls out to you to remember now. This is something that you've mastered in another lifetime. And you can balance your higher and lower chakras by practicing meditation, yoga, breath work, and any other spiritual disciplines that you are called to. This card indicates a time of health and increased energy. And the oracle's message is that by becoming more aware of your Kundalini energy, you can use it to transform your life. And the placement of the card is saying that this is something that you probably worked on in other lifetimes. So it's a time of remembering it. Use it. Dust it off the shelf if it's something that you've been thinking about but not practicing. And if you are practicing, then do more of it, because it's very, very important during this eclipse season. Now, the next card we're going to look at is above Isis. And this is the card Nut. So here we see Nut, again, as the outstretched goddess, body of a beautiful woman, and the stars make up her body. She's associated with the Milky Way. And she's also associated with the three pyramids of Giza, very much like Isis. They're similar goddesses having to do with the stars and protection and magic. And Nut is the great cosmic mother. We have Isis as the compassionate human mother, and we have Nut as the sky goddess mother. She's the beginning and end of all creation. The placement of the card in this position has to do with a message. The oracle is coming from your higher self to give you this message personally. Very important from Nut. And her name signifies the principle of universal energy made manifest, the soul made manifest in matter. So this is your higher self speaking to you. And again, we can see the body of Nut arches over the sky while her hands and feet touch the earth. The earth is represented by her husband Geb, the earth god, that we can see below her as she's stretched out over him. And Geb supports Nut as the earth supports the sky. Two of them together represent the sacred marriage of heaven and earth. And in the chapel of the New Year at Dendera Temple, the goddess Hathor is seen to be born from the womb of Nut, signifying the relationship of Hathor to the stars as well. Nut is also connected with the Milky Way. She gives birth to the 5 netters, or the 5 important gods of ancient Egypt: Osiris, Isis, Horus, Seth, and Nephthys. And from the body of Nut, all stars, galaxies, dimensions, and timelines are birthed. She is very, very important in the Egyptian pantheon. And in this placement, we can see that your higher self is giving you the message that there's a new timeline coming. Get ready to start a new chapter in your life. And also, you're very, very close to your star guides. This is a time of rebirthing and celebration. A new cycle is beginning for you. This is an oracle of hope and renewal. Expect success in your personal projects. New levels of creativity are possible now. You may explore your soul's records through astrology, past life regressions, the Akashic records, channeling, readings. All sorts of intuitive and psychic work are open to you now. And the message, the oracle's message of Nut, is to believe in yourself and to transcend old limiting beliefs. The final card we're looking at, the 5th point on the star, is the Sphinx. And the placement of the Sphinx has to do with the final word, the final message. And oftentimes the final card does revert back and have a resonance with the first card. So in this case, there is a between the Sphinx and Isis. In ancient Egypt, the Sphinx was known as Ra-Harakte, which means Ra, who is Horus at the heaven, or Horus of the horizon. This name is said to refer to the journey of the sun from horizon to horizon. On this card, hovering above the Sphinx, we see Khepri, the winged scarab, the symbol for the rising sun and the rebirth of light. To this day, the Sphinx remains the most mysterious and most ancient of all Egyptian monuments. The Sphinx is said to be the repository of the ancient Atlantean Hall of Records, written by Thoth. The Sphinx symbolizes the age of Leo and Aquarius and the integration of heart and mind. This is the key to unlocking its secrets. So, the mystery of the Sphinx is all about knowing yourself. And the oracle interpretation here is that you are ready to access your own inner hall of records through past life regression, meditation, psychic work, any types of healing or spiritual work that you do. It's time to trust your intuition, especially during the full moon, which is a very, very psychic time. And an eclipse gives you the sense of restarting something, rebooting your emotional patterns. So knowing yourself is of prime importance here. You may find a trusted teacher or guide you to assist you at this time, or you may be interested in reading the works of psychics such as Edgar Cayce, Madame Blavatsky, finding videos about channeled information, anything that's going to help you move into your spiritual knowing of self. The oracle's message is, there are many paths to enlightenment, but the first step is to know yourself. So we see the connection with the moon in Virgo, with Isis, working on the body as the temple, healing mind, body, and spirit. There is a flow of energy here to really get to the heart and core of being so that you can know yourself and move forward into this new era, this new timeline that begins with us moving from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. Have a wonderful eclipse season and full moon. Blessings to all. May you walk in truth and beauty always.